You're watching Venture Forward, a video series about vehicle-supported adventure, backcountry exploration, and full-time mobile living. Join us as we discover scenic and interesting places both on and off the beaten path. If you're just joining us, Venture Forward is about mobile living and backcountry exploration, usually, when my foot isn't broken. Last week during a hike in Vermont, I stumbled on a tree root, heard a crack, and I broke my 5th metatarsal.
Shannon!
And right now, we're hunkered down at an RV campground that's close to my doctor's office. As far as my healing goes, I'm making a little bit of progress every single day. The doctor says that I'm allowed to put weight on it, and indeed, I can stand on my boot and hobble around. I'm definitely not moving very fast at all, but I don't have much need for the crutches anymore. It's not actually the broken bone that's bothering me the most, it's stiff tendons. Because when I fell, I wrenched my foot, and I can't even imagine how I turned it, but I turned it wrongly. So right now, my ankle feels inflexible and strained, even without the boot. I have my next doctor's appointment at the end of this coming week, and depending on how that goes, Shannon and I are going to consider if we want to stick around or if we want to go somewhere else. I'm already fairly comfortable driving my Jeep around the campground, so I imagine by the end of this coming week I'll have regained much of my basic functionality. I'm driving. Granted, I'm just driving around our RV campground, but it is 10 days after I broke my foot, and I'm comfortably driving. Last week I was all doom and gloom and I thought the worst. It's going to take 6 weeks to heal, I won't be driving in 2 months, but that is clearly not the case. That's extremely reassuring. I don't think I'm ready for a lot of athleticism yet, but it definitely won't be long until I'm able to take the Jeep out into the backcountry. Keep your fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx myself or overdo it, but I am excited to pick up where we left off. For right now, we're making the most of the RV campground, and there's a food truck at the entrance that has poutine, and they also have an ice cream shop, and just this morning I was sitting on the edge of the pool soaking my foot, and it felt wonderful. All of these wonderful amenities aside, I am so impatient and excited to get back out there with Orangie. Just ask Shannon, I'm probably driving her nuts with my crankiness and pacing around the van. So this past weekend, a friend said to me, "Hey Chris, since you're down for the count temporarily to heal, why don't you take a look back at your adventure in Zion National Park?" And he is absolutely right. That is exactly the adventure that I would love to relive right now. Without further ado, let's travel back in time to southern Utah, where I experience Angel's Landing and the Narrows at Zion National Park. I had only been vlogging for about 4 months when I first recorded this footage with completely different equipment that I'm using now. Back in 2017, I didn't have an external microphone with any sort of wind buffer, nor did my camera have image stabilization, so some of these next scenes might be a little rough around the edges.
It is Tuesday morning, and I'm finished up in Kanab for now. I'm on my way to Springdale, Utah, to Zion National Park. Totally excited. It's supposed to be beautiful, and I'm looking forward to some hikes. Jeez, dude. So bright. Zion National Park is extraordinary. The road in from the east winds all through these mountains, and you can pull over pretty much anywhere and be guaranteed just a phenomenal view. It's 105 degrees, so I got this strawberry smoothie at Cafe Soleil, which is a really cool place. It's a coffee shop, but it seems to do a little bit of everything. They even have pizza. Found this great campsite in public land, about a stone's throw outside of Zion National Park. Nice view, high elevation. It's 6 p.m. on Tuesday night, probably about 100 degrees, and I'm about to get a shower. Right there, open air shower. I think privacy should be sufficient. I'm up very early on Wednesday morning at dawn because I want to hike Angel's Landing in Zion, and it's going to be hot today. It's going to be crowded today. I have to catch a shuttle. It's worth getting up early.
Welcome to Zion National Park, one of the greatest geologic wonders in the world.
The hike up to Angel's Landing begins at the Grotto Shuttle stop, and you can hike 2/3 of the way there up to Scout Lookout. However, as of April 2022, if you want to continue from Scout Lookout to the top of Angel's Landing, which is the gnarly section of trail, you have to apply for a permit. The National Park Service introduced this new permit system to help manage the increasing congestion along the more dangerous section of trail. For more information, before your visit, you should inquire at the Visitor Center or look up Angel's Landing on nps.gov.
Not technical, but quite the ascent.
I know I've dreamed about you. I missed you for... No, that's the right idea. It's funny, this past week I got off the phone with my dad, and he was referring to my other videos, how uneasy it made him when I got close to the edge of cliffs. Dad, if you're watching this, I am so sorry.
It's super high and...
Oh no, you're the only person doing that on their own.
Yes.
The Narrows. The Narrows is a very long stretch of gorge with walls 1,000 feet tall in some places. I didn't get nearly as much footage of this experience as I did during Angel's Landing, but I loved it just as much. Initially, on a 100-degree day in June, it was very crowded, but the one thing about the Narrows is that the deeper you go, the less crowded it gets, and the gorge goes on for miles. Keep in mind, the Narrows is susceptible to dangerous flash flooding, so you're going to want to keep a close eye on the weather forecast before you go in, and also double check with a ranger to make sure it's safe.
This is it. It's the end of the line in the Narrows. And I need to head back. Can you just focus on my face, man? This is it. It's about as far as I can go in the Narrows. It gets really deep up ahead. I've got a lot of electronics. It's already been a couple of hours. So I need to start working my way back to the shuttle. But man, this place is awesome. Around every bend there's something incredible to see, and it just gets better and better. We're getting to know this campground really well. We're at yet another campsite. I think this is the 4th one in over a week. We've had to bounce around from site to site a little bit because it's peak season and the place is very busy. Of course, we're last-minute guests, and our campground hosts here at Campfires have been very, very helpful in squeezing us in wherever they can. In fact, I think it's sort of serendipitous because on Sunday, they're having a grilled cheese fest. Grilled cheese fest hosted by Whetstone Beer. This Sunday, live music. This picture, this looks delicious. I'm not sure what our plans are, but this is making my mouth water. I'm gonna call that a wrap for the week. But first, thank you to everyone who suggested places to stay in Vermont this past week. My detailed GPS data for this week's adventure is available to Patreon subscribers, and points of interest are available on the THATCH travel app for iOS and Android. But I hope you all enjoyed this week's adventure. from 2017, and thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you again next week.